Ray, people will come, Ray.
They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom. They'll turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it. They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past. Of course, we won't mind if you look around, you'll say. It's only $20 per person. They'll pass over the money without even thinking about it. For it is money they have and peace they like.
Ray, just sign the papers.
And they'll walk out to the bleachers. Sit in shirt sleeves on a perfect afternoon. They'll find they have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines where they sat when they were children and cheered their heroes. And they'll watch the game, and it'll be as if they'd dipped themselves in magic waters.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Just a Couple of Guys with our first baseman, Pat Crimmins.
Sure, I played some first, yeah.
And yours truly, the left fielder, Ray Rogina. We're at Northwestern Medicine Field. It's May. It's time for baseball, and we're so happy to have our third annual visit with the general manager of the Kane County Cougars, Curtis Haug. Curtis will join us in the dugout here in a few minutes after a word from one of our fine sponsors. Play ball, right, Pat?
Let's play two.
All right. Stay tuned.
The Kane County Cougars are back for the summer. The best family entertainment around features sunshine, baseball, and fireworks through Labor Day. With great food, entertainment, giveaways, and running the bases after every game, there's something for everyone at a Cougars game. Thirsty Thursdays feature $2 beer, pop, and hot dogs. And on Sunday day games, a $15 ticket gets you $15 right back in concessions at the ballpark. Visit us at beautiful Northwestern Medicine Field this summer and make your family memories today.
Well, we're back. A reminder, opening day here at Northwestern Medicine Field next Tuesday. And we're very pleased to have for the third time, our third annual visit, Pat, with the award-winning general manager of the Kane County Cougars, our friend, Curtis Haug. Curtis, always a pleasure to see you, sir.
Always a pleasure to have you guys out here at beautiful Northwestern Medicine Field.
And I said award-winning because you were named the general manager of the year in the American Association last year.
That is correct.
And what a nice honor. What a nice honor. And you deserve it, man.
Thank you.
You work your tail off here.
I appreciate that. We got a good staff. That's what makes it happen.
Yep. See, credit to the people, credit to the employees.
It's all about the staff.
Yeah.
All right, let's get right away to the action and talk about the Cougars this year. They made the playoffs in the American Association last year and lost to the eventual champions. They played the Milwaukee Milkmen and got knocked out, right? Yeah. And in fact, they played the Milkmen this week, and we'll get to that later on. But talk a minute about the Cougars returning, new players. What do you see?
You know, we've got a good nucleus coming back with our position players. We've got Josh Allen coming back, Gally Cribbs, Cornelius Randolph, Jonah Davis, one of our better hitters, Armand Upshaw. So the position players are pretty solid. And then when you look at our pitching, we've got Jack Fox back as a starter. Weston
You
Muir.
talked to him last year.
Yeah.
Foxy.
Local guy, Weston Muir.
Yeah.
Weston.
He'll be back as a starter.
Good.
And then we've got a little bit of a local twist this year. Alex Troop from Batavia will be one of our starters. And then Ryan Nuttall will be one of our relievers, and he's from South Belgium.
Oh,
very nice.
So we've got some local guys.
Nice.
Which is nice. So we got two new catchers, and we got two hard-throwing lefties in the bullpen. So that should be interesting.
The players, it's always difficult. You've got to recruit them, right? I mean, it's difficult. It's not. You guys are not affiliated with any major league organization. Is that right?
That's correct.
So you don't have a team feeding you players. You have to go get them.
We have to put our roster together.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, I was going to say the playoffs end. To Pat's point, the playoffs end, and now you're in business talking about looking at next year and negotiating.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of time to sort of get to catch your breath, but yeah, we're talking to agents, we're talking to scouts, and it's mainly George Samus, our skipper, that puts the roster together.
Yeah.
Great guy, So
How long has George been here?
This will be George's 4th season. So we're hoping for a championship in George's 4th season.
Longer than the podcast has been here.
It's really
right?
Yeah,
Well, I was going to say, I mean,
it's close.
You're a pretty straightforward guy. You're saying we're shooting for a championship.
For sure. Yeah. We don't care. I mean, we care. You know, we want to win the division. We want to win a lot of games at home for the excitement of the fans. But ultimate goal is to win the championship.
Right.
It's that simple.
It's not just about entertainment.
Right.
Is what you're saying.
It's become more about winning, obviously, because when we were affiliated, it was more about player development.
Right.
You talked about that last couple of years and made the comparison, saying independently, we're here to win.
Yep.
When you're affiliated, the parent club may say, we're bringing 4 guys down to play for 2 games.
Yeah.
Don't worry about winning. Just throw them 2 innings or whatever, or
Right.
play with first base.
Well,
And here's your lineup, and you know this guy can only throw 30 pitches, and you know it's a whole different ballgame.
and you're still involved in development, coaching, and that kind of stuff with these players,
For sure.
even though they're not affiliated.
Yeah, because their ultimate goal is to get signed by a major league.
Right. I met Harrison Smith here, and he's excited. He's a utility guy. He describes himself. Plays every position but catcher. So that'll help him. His flexibility will help him maybe find a spot.
For
Tell
sure.
us a little bit about the American Association or the league that you play in. Any new changes this year? New teams that have left the association, anything like that?
Really, not a whole lot new as far as expansion or teams leaving or any new rule changes or anything like that. Is pretty status quo, which is okay.
Yeah.
Because the year before we had a lot going on with the new pitch clock and things like that. So yeah, pretty much the same, and most teams seem to be going strong, and we're looking forward to a good year in the association.
Now, who won it last year?
Kansas City.
Kansas City. Now, you would predict that they might be the favorite at this point?
I would say so. They always seem to have a good team, but you know what? Looking around the rosters and some of the it looks like Cleburne and Lake Country and Milwaukee are pretty solid in our division. And then you've got Kansas City and Fargo probably in the other division that seem to be really strong. So it'll be interesting. But, of course, we feel like we got a good team,
Sure.
and we're going to be tough.
Sell it, Curtis.
You mentioned Cleburne, Texas, and I looked at the schedule, the prelude to coming here today. It's interesting. They come here for a whole week. You go down there for a whole week to avoid 2 trips. Is that correct?
Trips, that's correct. And it's one hot week down there in Cleburne, Texas. Believe me, we're there for 6 days, and it's 100 degrees every day. And we've developed like almost a rivalry with Cleburne. It's, we've had some really good games, really good series with them especially last year. We anticipate that will carry over to this year.
I think Ray wants to take that bus ride.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a long one.
it's a long one. Maybe you could do some podcasting.
Yeah, that's like an 18-hour bus ride.
Any teams leave the association to go on to become affiliated or any of that going on?
Not yet. You know what? We look for a lot to happen here in the next 12 months because Major League Baseball, if you remember, they made it very clear that by the opening day of 2025, all of these affiliated teams need to have their renovations in order. It needs to be in place. It needs to be ready. So in the next 12 months, you're going to find out which teams maybe not be. They may not be ready.
Right.
And you know what? They may not have the construction scheduled or whatever it might be. And who knows? There could be some changes. And the other thing we look at is Major League Baseball. They look to expand in Portland or Nashville or Charlotte or any of those cities. That would increase the affiliated teams as well.
Oh, I see. By geography, you think, or just the numbers?
Just the numbers.
Yeah.
If you were a guessing man on that point, when do you see an expansion of 32 teams in Major League Baseball? Within the next 5 years?
I think for sure. I think once they get the Oakland situation and the Tampa Bay situation figured out, I think then that's when it'll happen.
You brought that up, and Pat and I, of course, have talked about even going out to Sacramento. Talk a bit about the fact that the A's have imposed upon their AAA franchise take over their ballpark for 3 years.
3 years.
And I don't even know what happens to the River Cats.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Nobody knows yet.
Don't know.
They might blend in with the other squads, I think.
All right.
Sprinkle the players.
That's a AAA franchise, and it draws pretty well.
Very successful.
15,000 seat ballpark.
Yeah. very successful.
And if I may, the A's are doing quite well. Surprising.
Isn't it something the way they've started?
Yes.
It's great to see.
Now,
and we've got a former Cougar in the rotation, Paul Blackburn.
That's right. He's doing great.
Yep, from the Cubs.
Let me ask this question. Are we a part of that compliance audit to maybe become affiliated, or did we're kind of putting that on pause for now?
We are on pause for now. But if they decide that, hey, this amount of teams, we get an invite to become affiliated, we would definitely have to make some improvements for sure.
So they give you a list and say, do this, that, and the other thing, and you're in, right?
For sure. And
that
mainly
sounds fun.
it revolves around the players. It revolves around the field, the clubhouses, things like that. It's all about the players when it comes to these improvements.
Now let's talk a little bit about the park. Has it changed in any fashion whatsoever? It's the same. Maybe new advertisers out there. Otherwise, anything you can tell us?
You know what? There's not a lot of structural change. Last year we seemed to have a lot of things going on. But this year, it's more about we've got a new craft beer. We've got a new clutch hitter West Coast IPA, which is 93 Octane Brewery locally.
Our guy
is doing it for us. And then we are going to go cashless in the ballpark. That's something new. It seems like a lot of organizations, a lot of arenas, places that are doing that. And so that's a big thing. And then in September, we've got a taco and tequila fest. Huge festival that's going to be here September 21st, which we think is going to do a great thing for us. And
will this be after the season's over already?
That's after the season's over. It's how September is. The weather's perfect. It's a Saturday night. Tacos and Tequila Festival.
Right. I was going to say, you don't want that during the season.
No.
Make that Bat Day.
Yeah.
Tequila everywhere.
Right.
The
other thing, too, is we're in negotiations right now of hosting a cricket match out here.
Neat.
So we're seeing where that goes, and if that does come to fruition, that would be in July.
And for those out there in the audience that don't know what cricket is, how would you characterize it?
Well, it's very close to
English
baseball.
English baseball.
Yeah.
English baseball.
You can throw the ball on the ground and get it straight, right?
Yeah. It seems to be very popular in India and in that area of the world.
Well, I've noticed that you guys use the park for a variety of things outside of baseball. And so you've been active in leasing it out, that kind of thing? Yeah.
We've got a carnival going on out in the parking lot right now. Windy City Amusements is doing a carnival. They're going to do it this past weekend and then this weekend again. In fact, we got high school games out here all the time.
St. Charles, East and North, exactly correct.
Maybe a St. Charles Municipal versus Geneva Municipal.
Oh.
You can arrange it, Pat.
Hey, that would be some game.
With Batavia waiting in the wings to play.
With plenty of beer, though, right?
Yeah, plenty of beer. All right, Curtis, we're going to go to commercial right now. One of our wonderful sponsors we're very pleased to have. And
if I may, on sponsors, we thank the Cougars for joining us again for another year. We've had a wonderful time here last year with several visits, and we look forward to that again this year.
So, sure. You guys are partners.
We're very excited about that. Thank you very much, Curtis. All right.
Tony, your parents know you're over here again, right?
Yep.
Great.
Tony lives next door. See, his parents decided to just use their phone for home internet. So when everyone is on, Tony's over here streaming and drinking all my soda.
My dog.
Switch to fast internet on the Xfinity 10G network today. The future starts now.
We're going to bed, Tony.
Good night. I'll lock up if I leave.
Get real home internet on the next generation 10G network only from Xfinity.
All right, we're back with Curtis Haug, the award-winning general manager of the Kane County Cougars. And Curtis, it's time to talk about this season. Things start next week locally, but you guys, first of all, begin on the road up in Milwaukee for the weekend. Is that correct?
That is correct. We go up to Milwaukee. It's a big 3-game series over Mother's Day weekend, and hopefully we can take the series, that's for sure.
All right, so we come back home, and I look at the schedule. So it's a week-long homestand, and fill us in on all the festivities that surround opening day and the full week.
Well, the first 2 games will be kids' days, basically. We'll have Cougars Reading Club kids out here on field trips for the first 2 days. That's why we, because with our schedule now, without a lot of April games, we don't have any April games.
Yeah.
We got to fit the kids in, and so they're coming. The the first two games, and then the official opening night will be that Thursday. It'll be a Thursday.
Thursday.
Well, we've been there.
That'll kick things off.
Yeah.
And then we got a great weekend planned, for that first May weekend, and looking forward to a great season. For sure. A lot of great promotions.
I like the idea of no April baseball. Maybe the Major League should adopt that logic.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, when you talk about baseball, you always got to talk about kids.
Oh,
right?
for sure. Kids is what make it happen.
Well, you talked last year, if I recall correctly, about the fact that competitive baseball among kids has been down. You compared the Little League nights where they came here in droves, and it's been down. So maybe we'll see a kind of a movement the other way again.
I hope so. It seems like they've all gravitated towards travel leagues, which takes up so much of their time on the weekends, as opposed to the in-house leagues.
Right.
I mean?
And then they end up not liking baseball anymore because they're playing 5 games a day. And that kind of thing, right?
And
So,
Sunday's not even sacred anymore.
right.
You know what I mean?
So we talked a little bit about this, but obviously you have events throughout the year here, all sorts of bring your dog to work type things. And give us a few, if you would, maybe some new ones. And of course, we have a website. What's the website?
KCCougars.com.
KCCougars.com. You can find all of this information about the events, the scheduled dates, the fireworks, etc. But if we have any new events to talk about,
oh my gosh, we've got a great promo schedule. Really great promo.
Yes.
Of course, we've got like Christmas in July and some of the old favorite Star Wars nights and things like that. But we've got some really cool new ones this year. One of them is we're going to take the identity of what's going on in June and July with all the cicadas. We are going to be the Kane County cicadas one night. We're going to have uniforms and hats, and so that'll be our.
As a lawyer, are we violating the trademark by doing that kind of thing? Are there a cicada team in Ohio?
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything out there.
No, I don't think there are.
But
good point.
we're going to have a DC Villains night. We've never done a villain.
Oh, I had to bring Henry to that.
Nice.
Joker bobblehead.
Oh, Joker bobblehead.
Joker bobblehead.
Oh,
and
my
I
God.
heard that Jack Nicholson's throwing out the first
Jack
ball there.
Nicholson's throwing out a first pitch. We're going to have American Girl Night here again, Build-A-Bear Night, which is new. We're going to have actual custom Build-A-Bears
Fun.
for the kids. And and then we've got a video game night where we're going to give away a PS5 every inning. Every inning we're giving away a PS5. Wow. Then we got a Weber Grill Night where we're going to give away a Weber Grill every inning on July. So, I mean, you've got all sorts of fun promotions this year.
Now, Pat and I want to certainly know about the $15 voucher. We got that returning on Sunday.
Sure. The Sunday Feast.
Sunday Feast. That's probably one of the best going.
Oh, what a great promotion. You buy a ticket and you get $15 worth of food vouchers to come out and enjoy a ball game.
If you're foolish enough not to come out to the ballpark, whether there's an event that night or not, how is it that you can do with the Cougars? Is that possible? Are they streaming? Or?
For sure, on AATV. Check it out.
AATV.
AATV.
With our guys. Our
Joe Brand and Connor Klingen.
Yes.
Bringing you all the action on AATV.
Action.
We hope to renew friendship with them again this summer at some point in time.
For sure. Great guys. And we've got a tie-dye night. We've got a Hawaiian night. There's something for everyone.
Man, I think you like tie-dye night. I think.
I thought there'd be just a couple of guys' nights where everybody dresses like a little overweight guy and a gray former affair.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. No. That would bring the locals in. Maybe just a couple of guys bobbleheads.
Oh, now we're
Wouldn't
talking.
that be something?
Now, we've been talking about swag for some time, but don't tease us, Curtis.
That would be something.
Listen, you obviously they can go on the website to purchase tickets to any game.
Yep.
How about let's take it a little farther though. How about the suites up there? Those beautiful suites that we have had occasion to do a podcast from. They're just a great place to watch a game. Talk to the fans a minute about how they might want to have a party. Not only in the suites, but then I'm looking out here at the Pride porch out there.
For sure. We've got some great hospitality here, whether it's the suites in the upper level or the outfield decks or the rooftops. And, talk to one of our ballpark event coordinators. Give us a call at 630-232-8811.
Say it again.
630-232-8811. Or go on the website, KCCougars.com. We've got all sorts of opportunities to book a group out here, have an outing, birthday parties, whatever floats your boat. We got it for you out here. We got the space, and we got great food and great service. That's for sure.
Yeah,
and you know what? The beer's cold.
The beer is cold.
The beer is cold.
The pork chop sandwich is to die for.
It's almost too big to eat and walk with. But I would say this: the White Sox came out with a milkshake.
Milkshake.
Yeah.
That's one of the.
We do have a new item.
Oh.
We call it the Bun Dinger.
Oh boy.
Bun Dinger.
Bun Dinger. Can you imagine this? This is a hot dog inside a Long John donut.
Oh God.
With the glaze on top and some bacon sprinkled all over it.
So it's a sweet and tangy.
Are you required to disclose number of calories?
Oh my goodness. It's fat free.
They're still calculating, right?
No, but what a great thing to have in a ballpark. A Bun Dinger.
I think that'll go over well on Thursday. This is my prediction. Yeah.
And of course we've got the new beer, the Clutch Hitter West Coast IPA.
Changing gears in our final question, because we always appreciate your time, and the players are out there already working out, and we can see that baseball is close. But taking it to a higher level, every year we talk a bit about the major leagues and who do we like and who do we think are going to make it to the big dance at the end of the year, the World Series, and so on. So the question is simple. I want you to give me 2 teams in each league that you feel are the favorites, and then 1 or 2 surprise teams. We don't have to break down the division or anything, but 1 or 2 surprise teams that could be making their mark in the playoffs.
I don't know if these teams are favored, but I really like the Phillies. I think the Phillies and the Dodgers, I think, are favored probably. But the Phillies and Dodgers look really good in the National League to me. I love the Phillies lineup. I love the fact they have Kyle Schwarber, former Cougar, and they seem to be pretty solid in the rotation this year. And so those are my 2 picks in the National League. In the American League, I think the Yankees, but I really think it's Baltimore's team.
Right.
I really think they're going to do it. And so those 2 teams, I don't know if they're favored, but those are the 2 in each league. But as far as surprises go, hey, you got to look at the Cubs in the National League. I don't know. Yeah. They seem to be there.
I think they look good in that division because
too.
I'm always worried about the Reds, and we just saw the Brewers,
yeah.
But I'm not seeing much. And
they
Cubs,
can win that division.
Cubs get healthy, they can go on a little streak here.
Yeah.
Put the rest of the teams beside them.
And then the American League, I think the sleeper might be Seattle. Seattle's put together
I'm with you on that.
They put together a nice rotation, and who knows? But the Cubs in Seattle, I think, are the sleepers. But I think it's going to be Baltimore and Philly in the World Series.
Nice.
And after that, I don't know.
Now, Baltimore's a perfect example of a team that was bad for years, but they built that farm system.
Yep.
They have the best farm system, I think, in baseball.
It's incredible.
I was in Vegas before the season started during March Madness, and I looked at the board and I thought to myself, the best value as far as the wager was concerned was the Orioles at 12-1 to win the World Series.
Wow.
And they may still be around that number, I don't know, but to me that's the value bet, and I concur. Those young players that the Orioles have just are unbelievable. So
Great point.
They beat the Yankees this past week 3 out of 4.
Yep.
So I'm with you on the Orioles, but
and you know what else too? You look at the Orioles; they're managed by Brandon Hyde. Brandon Hyde was the farm director here when we were the Cubs, so we have a little connection with Brandon Hyde. So we're rooting for him.
That's good.
Hey, just a reflection here, because I recall sitting with you that first year here, and you talked about your road to get here. And you started in Charleston, West Virginia.
Beautiful Charleston.
It seems like a long time ago. But,
yeah, it seems like a long time ago. But you know what? The time has flown. It's a great industry to work in. You're in the ballpark every day. You just can't beat that. And this is my 33rd season in minor league baseball.
Very nice.
Any plans we should know about for the future? 2025, 2026. I know we talked about the compliance audit, maybe some expansion with affiliated teams, but anything you guys got in the hopper beyond that?
It's sort of in the hopper still. It's sort of in the planning stages,
right.
But at this point, we're kind of keeping it under our hats at this point.
Well, the podcast in its 7th year will be here to discuss.
Yes, I love it.
And all we can say is that the podcast is really appreciative of the fact that he'll be able to spend another summer talking about baseball, interviewing. We've got some new thoughts too. We're going to interview some fans this summer and talk to them and have a gay old time at the ballpark here. It's just a wonderful relationship, and we thank you so much for just giving us the opportunity to talk to a guy who, in our opinion, is one of the best in terms of dialogue, baseball dialogue, frank, honest baseball dialogue. So I close by saying this. There's no question in my mind that Pat and I uniformly say the Cougars are one of the Fox Valley's greatest assets.
Treasure.
We look forward to another treasure season at Northwestern Minnesota. Curtis, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Curtis.
you. Guys, you guys are great.
Curtis Haug, the general manager of the Kane County Cougars. We're going to take a break, and then Pat and I are going to have some closing comments, and we'll be right back. Hello, friends. This is Ray Rodina. I'd like to say a few words about my friends at the Karas Group of Restaurants, one of our sponsors. I've been a frequent guest at all of their fine restaurants for years, one of which is Rookies, which has locations throughout the Fox Valley and beyond. My favorite dish at Rookies is the gyros plate with the saganaki appetizer. Oopa! My wife, she loves the Hall of Fame chicken sandwich. But I can honestly say that I've never had a bad meal there, regardless of whatever I've had to eat. The wings are out of this world, the salads are delicious, great burgers, tacos, all-American specialties, and don't forget their pizza. And of course, you can wash this all down with one of their famous Mai Tais. Try them out. St. Charles, Geneva, Elgin, Hoffman Estates, Huntley, and Roselle. RookiesPub.com. I'll see you there. Well, we're back, and Pat, I seem like I've known Curtis all my life.
He's a wonderful guy, very pleasant, nice, congenial. What can you say? He's a baseball man.
He is a baseball man, true and true, and his relationship we have with the Cougars is just second to none. We look forward to it. Before we go today, as usual, our tradition, we like to talk for just a minute about what we think the American League and National League will look like for 24. But as a footnote, or maybe a preface to any of these comments, I want to say right away, everybody knows I'm a White Sox fan. Everybody knows that I'm taking a gap year from the Sox this year. They're awful. They're absolutely awful. They're the worst team in baseball. And nothing to be said. I'm going to adopt the Cougars here this summer as my go-to team to enjoy baseball at some level because it's fun here. We enjoy things. Fans are great. The food is great.
Fantastic. I enjoy my time out here. I follow the Cougars. I follow the players. I look forward to it. I've never taken a gap year, and I'm a Raider fan, and we've had 20 years of bad. And the athletics have been horrible for years and years. Always been true. But when you say gap, I think you mean just less interest, less appearance.
I've watched about 4 innings all year long. All right, now, tell me, in the American League, our league, the teams that we like, who do you see as the top 2 teams? Just from a
so far, I mean, you're looking at the Yankees and you're looking at the Orioles and Cleveland, of course, and watch out for those A's. It's a Saturday softball league, but they're doing pretty well.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with Pat at all about the American League, and I really think Baltimore is the choice. I agree with Curtis. I think they can make it to the World Series there. The young players they have are phenomenal. They're on a roll. They made it to the playoffs last year and learned a little lesson, and now it's time. So I would like to say the Orioles. The Yankees will be tough. You mentioned Cleveland. One other team that I also agree with Curtis on is Seattle. The Mariners. They're in first place at the moment, and I think they'll give Texas all they can handle. How about the Nationals?
Well, of course, you like the Cubs. They're looking good. You've got the Phillies, of course. Curtis talked about them. Baseball seems odd to me. The Cubs are scoring runs, at least they were until recently. But they've got pitching, so they've got a pretty good balance here. I'm not familiar with another team, maybe you can help me, in the National League that's got the same pitching as the Cubs.
Well, I don't know. I think San Diego, their top 3, Cease, Musgrave, and I'm thinking I can't think of the third guy, but he's their front man.
By reputation.
And
this year, are they doing well?
Oh God! Well, no, they're about 500 so far. Exactly right. But you know, to me, the National League Central like the American League Central.
Oh, the wind has taken us a little bit.
The National League Central like the American League Central. Good teams, Cubs, Brewers, good teams. But I don't think they can compete with the Phillies, the Dodgers, or the Braves. That's how I look at the whole thing.
The Braves I think they have to be the favorite. Don't you? The Braves?
Curtis says the Phillies. If you look at that lineup, the problem with the Phillies is they've got a suspect bullpen. Their starters are great. Wheeler, Nola, you know, what can you say? And there goes our train. Chicago.
Gotta love Kane County.
Exactly right. But that's where we think the league is going. Who knows? Baseball is always full of surprises. Locally here, at the minor league level, and at the major league level.
Big question, I think, is: are you going to have one of those hot dog and a donut?
No, but I'm going to have our pork chop sandwich here, and we're going to have to see our guys at Whiskey Acres.
Oh yes.
For one of those whiskey lemonades. See how Kevin lit up when I said Whiskey Acres? Because I think he knocked on a couple
last summer. A little sunshine, a little baseball.
Well, okay. Huh? So let's play two, like you said before, and we'll head off here from beautiful northwestern Medicine Field. So, in absentia, somewhere in the world, we don't know where, our crack producer, Paul Stukel, we want to say hello to him and hope he's doing something for the good of society. Paul Stukel, for our trusty
videographer and
crafty cinematographer.
Yes.
Kevin Ketchum, always dressed in blue and looking dapper as always.
When and How, is that the business? Or
When and How Communications.
When and How Communications.
Oh, well, but also publisher of Fox Valley Magazine.
Right.
For my partner.
And his lovely wife.
Well, Cindy's here today, and she's waving, and she's always a presence.
Oh, yes.
For my partner, Pat Crimmins, ready to go out there and throw a few baseballs around?
A few. Maybe two, and then I would need an orthopedic from...
the Cougars doctor we
Fox
talked
Valley
about.
Orthopedic, of course.
Ray Rogina, wishing you all a wonderful opening day. It is opening day soon, and we're happy to be here. From Northwestern Medicine Field, home of the Kane County Cougars, Pat and Ray, just a couple of guys. Play ball!
Thank you very much.
So long, everyone.
All right!